Hello everyone, it's SilverStarGG here. So I haven't been here a while, not on YouTube and definitely not on Discord, cause I've been sick recently. So yeah, I'm still a bit sick. Maybe you can hear it from my voice. But I really wanted to make this video. It's about the new patch, and I wanted to go over the notes and give you guys some of my interpretation of it. Maybe you guys can take something out of it and take it like how should you look at the things that were changed, so it will help you in your gameplay and game plan overall, because the macro is very very important, as you know. That's what I always say, and that's what I teach in my coaching sessions. So I want to talk about a bit, yeah, what can we expect, in my opinion at least. So let's jump right into it. So first thing first, we got some pretty basic changes. So a bit of Etrox nerf, you can say, because it is like 10 seconds duration now. However, it will always heal him whenever it's over 80%, so it kinda equals it out. You just need to play around it better. Uh, Now we'll have indicator when he is gonna be at full health, so we can like stop from killing him if you want to wait until it's over. But yeah, not much for it. As well, okay, more AP, scaling, fine. They wanna do that AP as well is gonna have a lot more burst damage, and that's the aim of the ult change as well. So it won't get cut off, like reduced. So now if you hit two enemy champions, they're gonna take the same damage, which is actually a lot. Like I remember from my experience with AP Ezreals, you used to do a lot of damage for the first champion you will hit with Crucial Barrage. But yeah, okay, that's an AP Ezreal change basically. Okay, the Sandra passive, new passive. That's like pretty much the thing that yeah, not much around this stuff. Like the new passive is actually pretty cool. So basically, what it does is whenever an enemy dies near the Sandra, and notice that it dies near the Sandra, she doesn't have to get an assist or a kill for the enemy. So basically, what happens? They will just sorry about that. They'll just become a ghost, like one from Twin Shadows Ghost. So they're gonna chase around the enemies and slow their movement speed. So basically get a free Twin Shadows when an enemy dies near you. So that's huge for Lissandra, because if you want to snowball a team fight, with their AoE and CC already, she's gonna do a lot more utility. It's gonna help her pick up the carries or the other champions left in team fights after she one-shot somebody. So yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot more Lissandra coming up, especially when she's been used at Worlds way before the changes. So yeah, that's actually a pretty good change. Moving on, we have Talia. So what they did basically, I think that now Talia is gonna be less viable in the jungle, cause never mind they worked the ground at 45 seconds now. Doesn't really matter. This change is huge, cause it makes every, doesn't matter, minion, monster, or enemy champions takes 50% reduced damage from the first shard beyond the first. So if you're gonna take like wolves and they like all three together, they're gonna take like the big one. Usually it's gonna be the big one because it has a lot of hitbox. The two little wolves are gonna take 50% reduced damage. So yeah, that's gonna make it very very tough for Talia to actually jungle, in my opinion. I think we're gonna see way less Talia jungles with this change. Alright, so now instead of regenerating 20 health for 10 seconds, it's just gonna scale up at missing health. So that's like meant for more poking matchups rather than just taking it as is. So yeah, it's gonna really help in against poking matchups. That's an okay change. Guinsoo change is actually pretty big, you can say. So basically, instead of scaling, it now gives you 15 damage, magic damage on hit. So instead of it actually being like a super scaly item that also one item's power spike, like for Kaisa and Kog'Maw that buy this item, it's gonna be only more of a one item power spike rather than scaling as well. So we're gonna probably see way less because it's not gonna benefit from bonus attack damage. So we're gonna see way less Guinsoo in the Infinity Edge buys. So I think we're gonna see now is Guinsoo and how it's called Nashor's Tooth. So yeah, that's about it. It's about making it less of a scaling item. Okay, no longer grants to 2.5, but it grants magic penetration and armor penetration, which is pretty cool actually. It's very useful for Kog'Maw, Kai'Sa, and Varus. It's still gonna be a viable item, just not as power spiky. I mean not power spiky, but less of a scaling item as well. So that's a pretty good balance in my opinion. Note that the like the passive it gives you at 6 stacks, where you get like 2 auto attacks. It's like as is. Not 2 attacks, 2 stacks if you have like basic attack ability stacking. Alright. Also, it's probably gonna make Vayne by like not by Guinsoo, probably. Alright, jungle items, they just made it so there is no gold funneling anymore. Like the debuff you would have get for jungle, because what they did is we'll just see we'll see it right now, the changes to the turrets. So just remove the debuff for not getting less gold from the minions, basically. Alright, minion execute doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is I wouldn't say it's such a big change, but some supports are gonna be a little bit mad because now you can get only 2 control words at the same time rather than 3. Which if you're especially at lower elo, nobody buys control words, so it kind of sucks to be a support when you can't buy 3 and you have to rely only on yourself putting them down. So yeah, I don't think it's that a big of a deal in my opinion. Okay, so the next change is that the warding totem is gonna be 120 seconds, like 2 minutes at level 18 rather than 3 minutes, which is a big change actually. And also it's gonna scale in the average of your whole team rather than yourself. So yeah, it's gonna impact a lot. Like a 1 minute in the late game, less time for a ward is kind of big actually. It can make a huge difference. But at the same time, we got 2 control words instead of 3 at the inventory, so it's gonna even things out. Alright, next up, okay, so this is the big change. Sorry about that. Alright, so basically what happened until now in the meta is that you would have taken a turret, first tower, top lane, bot lane, usually it will be, and then you will swap, so you can take the other turret. That's like you would have rushed with your jungler help a turret and then swap to the other lane to take the turret there. So those are very snowbally games, and you saw like you could feel that. I felt that as a top laner, being dove from the jungler, then instantly 9 minutes in the game, the laning phase ends. That's so hard to come back after such thing happens. So I really like this change. So let's talk about the change. So basically, now each outer turret, which is the turrets the most away from your base, they start with plates. They like get divided by five portions. So they start with a lot more armor and magic resist, the turrets themselves, and now each part of the turret you take, each you have 5 parts, so each part gives you a gold. So instead of trying to rush down a turret, which would be a lot harder because it's gonna have a lot more armor and magic resist, um, it's you can rush like a 1 part turret or 2 parts turret, and then it's gonna give you like bonus gold. So it's 160 gold, which divided among nearby champions. And whenever some plate gets destroyed, you get an additional armor and magic resist to deny. Like if you get a one big push, it's gonna be harder for you to take down the turret just because it's gonna get even more armor and magic resist. So like that's like the Riot's game plan behind this change. So it won't get snowbally as it was like until now. Which you will get though with the enemy jungler with like I don't know mid lane or support roaming to your lane. You die and instantly use the turret. And yeah, that will be very hard to deal with, especially as me as playing top laner. So I'm really glad that they made this change. So it's gonna like this plating, which gives them bonus armor magic resist, and like the gold themselves, it's gonna end at 14 minutes. So up until that time, you're gonna have this part of the turrets, so they get like divided by 5 parts, and each part gives you gold, as well as turrets get tanky. So yeah. However, okay, I'll talk about it later. I have another point to make, but I'll talk about it after we talk about the other changes. Okay, so first turret bonus, you get 150 instead to for 300, but you get here 160 for each plate. So at the end of it, let's do the math. Okay, so you get 150 if you get take first tower. We're gonna do it like this way. You get 160, 5 multiplied by 5, because you have 5 plates. You get 800 gold. And if you take 150 more, if you take the first tower, you get 950 gold if you manage to take first tower and the 5 plates. So if you're gonna make a team effort of taking down a specific turret or focus on a specific lane, that's gonna give you a huge advantage. So yeah, definitely look out for that. And so it leads me to my next point, which I wanted to talk about, is that if you manage to take Rift Herald by 13 minutes and use it on the turret, you gotta take like I think, I'm not sure, don't like take my word on it, but I think you're gonna take at least 1 plate, if I'm not mistaken. So that's huge. That's like 160 gold, like from nothing. So imagine if you do like a huge push, take Rift Herald, 3 members down bot lane, pushing jungler and AD carry and support, pushing bot lane, taking tower, 900 gold. Thank you very much. That's like gonna make a huge change for junglers to get Herald before 14 minutes. So yeah, definitely look out for that. I think Herald is gonna be a huge more game changer in the early game. Like if it wasn't enough already, I'll talk about the Rift Herald point a lot. So yeah, definitely look out for that. And I think that how it's called, Demolition, if I'm not mistaken, like the rune. Let's see actually how it's called. Demolish, sorry, Demolish. So I think Demolish is also gonna be viable probably for the tanks and everybody that's taking resolve path. So yeah, so we can take down turret plating and turrets a lot faster and get the gold out of it. Alright, so auto turrets, 5,000 health instead of 3,800, alright? And sorry about that. Did they no longer have armor magic resist? That's because they have the plating. And global gold 50, that's unchanged. But one thing to look out for that is that they have a lot more AD. A lot more AD. They like cap at 278. It's like 100 more AD at 15 minutes. So look out for that. Like after 7, like it's gonna make dives like if a lot harder. Usually dives don't occur that early in the game, I think. But yeah, definitely look out for the early game dives before you are definitely strong enough to dive the enemy team. So it's gonna do a lot more damage to you. And that's like the reasoning, as I said, from denying snowballing in the early game. From like getting dove at like 6 minutes and losing a turret at 7 minutes. So yeah. Alright. Inner turrets, AD scaling, yeah, more scaling. AD, global gold, nerfed. Okay, that's because you can get a lot more gold from the outer turrets. Yeah, I think it's about the same. Inner inhibitor turrets and nexus turrets. A lot more have more AD scaling. And the cap as well. Less global gold, talked about that. Alright. So minions are gonna be do less damage to your turrets, and again same reasoning, deny the snowballing of taking down turrets fast. Champions less damage, okay. Don't think that's much of a difference, but I think it could just be more aggressive in the early game, but I don't know how much difference it will actually make. We'll have to see. Okay, so they get more movement speed, which is pretty cool actually. It means that there's gonna be a lot more pushes in the mid game, a lot more faster pushes. Melee minions 1300. Okay, max armor. Okay, max AD is actually pretty interesting. So they're gonna do less damage to turrets in the early game, but eventually they're gonna scale a lot more. So it actually equals it out. Max armor, yeah. So it actually cruises out. Like they're gonna do more damage, I think, in the end. When they get the scaling, which is at the full 80 is at 37 minutes. Okay. Baron buff. Okay, so they changed it that so Baron buff isn't that mandatory as it used to be. Like if you wanted to end games in the previous season or okay, the previous patches, you would have to take Baron buff. Like I think that in 85% of the cases, unless you were like really winning, stomping the enemy, you would have to take Baron buff to end the game. So they wanted to change that, so it won't be that mandatory. They wanted to change from a successful siege, you could end up winning the game. So that's why they nerfed the Baron buff. So Minion's gonna take less damage from champions, 70 from 75, so that's okay. But the turret changed. So if you add Baron buff melee minions, they will have to take 3 turret hits, and now they will have to take 2 and an auto attack, just like a regular minion, regardless if it's Baron buffed or not. Save for custom minions, instead of taking 2 damage, like 2 hits from the turret, and then auto attack from the champion, it's just gonna die in 2 turret hits, just like a regular minion. Baron buff won't actually matter. Okay, so they have more health and they have more AD. No longer scales infinitely. Okay, so it's gonna cap at 37 minutes, but it's gonna cap at a much higher damage. So it's gonna cap at 120 rather than 60.5. So they actually made it so like at 37 minutes, all the minions become like beast. Every single minion has like 80 AD at least, if not more. So same thing for that. 77 at 37 minutes. Canon minion scales infinitely, so they're gonna keep scaling. Okay, so this is a big change. So it's gonna a canon minion is gonna spawn every 2 waves at 15 minutes rather than the 20 minutes. And it's gonna spawn every wave at 25 minutes rather than 35 minutes. It's a 10-minute change, and this 10 minutes it's like between the mid lane to mid game to late game transition. So it's actually gonna make a huge difference. And actually, I've played a game today, and I actually felt that if you're gonna group at the mid game, like if you wanna win hard and you wanna win fast, you gotta group at the mid game. So it doesn't matter if you're a little behind, little ahead, doesn't matter. The team that's gonna group, that's from my experience, right? So the team that's gonna group faster and is gonna group more efficiently, meaning that they're gonna have more control wards, more vision, and more peak potential with champions and etc. They're gonna eventually manage to take the enemy down because they're gonna have a lot more pushing power using the like every wave of cannon minion. That's a very big change. So yeah, that's what I felt like. I felt like the grouping now is essential at mid game. You gotta always group. That's what I felt like. But we'll have to see, because that's early assumptions. But that's from my experience in like the past couple of games I did today. But one game from today, like we were in the lead, but the enemy team just grouped and we lost because they grouped before we did. So yeah, we gotta watch out for that. Okay, so 2 damage taken. It's gonna take 15 max health per shot. Okay, so it's gonna take less damage from the inhibitor turret and nexus turret. Also inner turret. So yeah, that's the same change that I wanna say. Like the team that's gonna control the pushing power and like sieging is gonna be able to win a lot easier now, rather than previous patch. Alright, so Super Minions base AD is nerfed, but it has more attack speed, so if they manage to actually get a turret, it evens it out. No longer increases minion damage by 70%, so that's a big change. So then basically nerfed Super Minions, but they gave the other minions more like AD and armor, so that's okay. Super Minions now show up on the map. Not that big of a deal. Okay, so they made it that Drake, I think it was like a season 6 they changed it, or season 7. They changed it, so they reverted back to 5 minutes, so we'd have a lot more fighting over drakes, which is a good change in my opinion. Also for Baron and Dragon, Elder Dragon, sorry, it's gonna take 6 minutes. That's a change that I wanted to see. I think 8 minutes was a lot, like way too long to wait for an Elder Dragon spawn. So yeah, 6 minutes really equals like what I expected Dwyer to do. Baron Usher again 6 minutes, good change. Again, they made less. Sorry, I'm as I said, I'm sick again. I'm still kind of sick, so yeah. Okay, so they made it so Baron isn't that mandatory. Again, Baron buff is gonna give you an advantage, but it's not that mandatory as it used to be. So they made it 6 minutes, which is okay. So you can fight over a new Baron even if you like lose it from a smite miss or something. You can wait it out. Okay. The Metal Drakes, first Drake spawned 5 minutes, so junglers are gonna more gank in the early game, so rather than rushing Drake, which used to be with, if I'm not mistaken, Shaco used to do it a lot, Warwick. So yeah, at 5 minutes, which is pretty good. At this time, usually supports have more vision around this area, so that's a good change. Respawn time, okay, it's gonna give more gold, which is actually nice. 100 gold rather than 25. More experience, so that's kind of, well, that doesn't really change anything. It's just gonna scale. That's an okay change as well. Alright, buffs. Okay, so they basically made that so first drakes are gonna give they're gonna boost it out. So that's a good change. So you gotta give drakes more priority now. Because first of all, they spawn faster. So if you actually in the lead, you wanna take the as soon as possible, and then it's gonna spawn 5 minutes after, which is not a lot. Wait, I hate, like, it is a background music, which is annoying. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, they made it so you would want to fight over these drakes because they give you more gold now, they give you more experience, they spawn faster. So if you're on the lead, you definitely look out to do Drake now. 16 instead of 10. 8 from 10, that's okay change. If Drake is still strong, was strong. That's not a big deal. But 10 from 16, that's like a lot in my opinion. That's a big change for the Mountain Drake, which is strong actually, and now it's even stronger, especially with the turret changes. So we want to take out turrets faster. So Mountain Drake, I think it's gonna equalize Infernal. Honestly, if you can take like at 5 minutes in Mountain Drake, and then you have until 14 minutes to take down the platings, that's gonna give you such a big advantage as a team. So definitely look out for Mountain Drakes now as well. I think they're gonna have a lot more priority than it used to be. Used to be, they used to be okay, but now, yeah, definitely they're gonna be a lot more um, stronger. Okay, so Ocean Drake, 6 health instead of 4. Okay, change, not much. Still on okay Drake. Again, 1%, still on okay Drake. So definitely look out for the mountain. That's the thing to take out of it. Okay, jungle camp experience. So they basically reduce the experience you get at the late game. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's not a big values as well, so skip over that. Alright, so the rune state changes, I really like them. So you won't necessarily have to take, like, if you wanted to take more AD, you wouldn't have to take always the sorcery. You can now, like, take, I don't know, domination, which is the red one, and then take, like, AD in the offense. You can take armor in the flex, and then defense you can take another magic resist, you can take health. So I really like this change. It's like the old runes, I really like it. So you have a lot more versatility in the matchups and like what champion you play. So definitely, I love this change. Like I think that's very good, healthy gameplay, which doesn't restrict you to taking a secondary path just because you want the bonus stat out of it. Okay, so fit of footwork. Okay, celerity change is actually um, that's a big change because usually even AD carries would have taken celerity like Tristana or Caitlyn and stuff, just because they wanted to take this bonus movement speed, so they can kite better. But now it just gives you only for bonus movement, like movement speed buffs. It's just gonna increase it by 8%, which is a lot. So definitely Singe is gonna benefit from it a lot. Udyr, Shyvana, all these champions that have movement speed buffs, even Bard, I think that's gonna be like super fast now. Or Pike, or Rakan. That's really interesting to see these champions using that, getting 8% movement speed bonus, like increased by 8%. Sorry, it's not like they get 8%, but it's increased by 8%. So it's not bad at all. I think we're gonna definitely see supports, some supports now take celerity. Supports that didn't used to have it, like Rakan. Okay, no longer converts it to adaptive force. Alright, Dark Harvest, that's a big change as well. So up until now, Dark Harvest, jungle champions like Kha'Zix, Rengar, Kayn, assassin champions, snowballing ones, would have usually taken Dark Harvest, and that would actually, like, they will do so much damage after like having so many stacks and snowballing. So that's like to stop the huge snowball potential they will have get. So they made Dark Harvest only proc against enemy champions below 50% health. So that's like more for laning um, rune now. So more laning keystone, if I'm being more specific. So yeah, I think that's a very good change. I think that we're gonna start seeing like Miss Fortune. It used to take Dark Harvest up until now, and now it's even better for her. And also I think we're gonna see some assassins like Zed. Maybe we're gonna see who else? Maybe we're gonna see Talon maybe taking it as well. Because triggering, sorry, I can't speak. Triggering it below 50% health isn't actually that hard. So yeah, definitely look out for that. What else do we have? So it gives 50 to 80 damage, which increases by 80 and AP, just like it used to be, plus 8 damage per harvested soul. And it's cooldown 45 seconds, which resets to 1.5 seconds on champion takedown, which is actually pretty good. Because whenever you kill an enemy, usually you will do you will do damage because they're gonna you're gonna proc it because they're gonna be below 50% health, because you killed the enemy. So yeah, you're gonna get a reset on it. You can go on to the next target, proc it again. That's really like gonna be beneficial for assassins. I think we're gonna see assassins mid lane taking Dark Harvest. Definitely look out for that. So as I said, we removed it. So junglers, I don't think it's gonna be that viable for junglers now, but we'll have to see. I think that electric is gonna be better for like Helis and even Kha'Zix. I think that no, maybe Kha'Zix can take Predator as well. We'll have to see. Okay, Ravenous Hydra, I mean Ravenous Hunter, just made it nerf, alright, by 1%. Demolish, yeah, so they we nerfed it. As I said, it's gonna be pretty strong against the platings, because you want to take these platings early on. So they nerfed it by 75 damage, but they increased, sorry, they reduced the charge up time. So you don't have to be 4 seconds in your turret, you can just be 3, which is if you have like a full wave, you can definitely proc it. Unless the enemy champion has some kind of a taunt, like if it's a Shen, maybe you need to be more careful, but it's gonna be easier to proc. Less damage, but if you're a tank, you should be able to compensate on it, and it's still gonna be strong. So I think Sion taking Demolish is gonna be like inting Sion is back for early game, so you can be inting Sion in the early game and like take these platings and 900 gold for the early game, and then continue to a regular build. Alright. Shield Bash. That's not a bad rune. I really like it. I played with it today. It works on Camille, for those of you who want to know, for my passive. So that's a very useful rune. Definitely take it if you have some kind of a shield for your champion. Also Shen, I played it out. That worked as well. It gives you a bonus armor and magic resist whenever you're shielded, so that's good. And whenever you gain the shield, your next basic attack is gonna do more damage. So it's gonna do 4 to 21 damage plus 8.5 of the shield strength plus 1.5 bonus health. So yeah, definitely I will use it for champions that have shield. Also, I use it on Ugat, and it was pretty strong. So, but if you like compare these two, I think for Sion, Demolish is gonna be better. Cause Sion just gets so much max health from his E. You're gonna definitely be able to do a lot more damage to the turrets. So, bond plating. Buff duration 3 seconds to 1.5. Block amount 15 to 40. They increase the block, but it's gonna be 1.5 seconds rather than 3. So you wanna make sure you're in a prolonged fight rather than like being poked out from the bone plating. So if you're playing against bone plating, just like it used to be, you proc it and you back off. You don't want to fight whenever it's up, and now especially whenever it gives more blocking power. Definitely you don't want to fight whenever it's up, and use your abilities on it. So yeah, watch out for that. 1.5 seconds should be like just back off a little and then fight back. Alright, moving on. Crystallize removed. Alright. Overgrowth. So it's now gonna grant flat health rather than granting percent health. So you get 3 health per 8 minions rather than 0.2. So that's still very strong. You also get 2.5 max health at 120 minion master death. So Overgrowth is definitely strong for tanky champions that stack health, like Sion. That's a very good rune. It was a good rune. It still is a good rune. So yeah, not much talk about that. Kleptomancy is actually a pretty interesting change. You can now have 2 procs. So if you manage to like, I think that Fiora, whenever you have your E, so if you can Q and double auto attack the enemy champion with E, which is definitely possible because you get 2 very fast auto attacks, you can proc Kleptomancy twice. So I think Klepto like Fiora is definitely gonna be up. Also, I think that for AD carries like Ezreal, if you can manage to fight the enemy and auto attack twice the enemy champion, you gotta take 2 Kleptomancy stacks, and that's a big change because you get twice the amount at like one use. So yeah, it's a very good change, and it's no longer drop wards after 20 minutes because of the vision change. And honestly, I think that like after 20 minutes, all that I cared about having Kleptomancy is just the elixirs. So we have here Bounties, which is actually pretty interesting changes. Um, like from what I've read, it's not like doesn't seem that balanced in my opinion, and we'll just see why. So first of all, they increased the gold bounty for champions. So at 4 kills, you get 400 gold, 25 more gold than last patch. Um, sorry about that. 50 gold at 5 kills. At 6 kills, 100 more gold than last patch, which is 600 gold. And more additional kills after 6 kills is 100 gold each. So with that, they also made it that you get a bounty from minion and monster. So if you earn 250 more gold than the enemy's average during that time, you increase by 50 gold. So and another 50 gold for additional 150 and not 250. So yeah, that's like if you're ahead and playing like a I don't know wave clear champion with a potential to clear camps as well, like Renekton top lane, and you're really snowballing and start taking out jungle camps, you're gonna stack up your gold so fast you won't even notice. So I really don't know about these changes, and there is also another big change regarding it. So Bounty is no longer increased mid combat. That means that if you get some kills and then die, it will just count towards your next death and not this death. Um, Bounty payouts for killing member of the losing tier are reduced down to a minimum of 20% of the normal values if the losing team is massively behind. So this is a huge change. It basically like punishes the winning team for stomping. That's what it feels like. Like these bounty kills, and you get more gold whenever you have advantage in even in minions and master kills. Gold, I mean. So yeah, that's really feels like they punish the snowballing, stomping teams. I don't know. I mean, right now the strategy, if you are behind, you could definitely come back. What you need to do is pick up, like, focus on picking up kills. It used to be like that It has always been like that, like picking up kills to get ahead, like come back from the game. But now it's especially important, and you can get a lot of more gold than it used to have. But one thing with that, it doesn't give more than 1,000 total gold, which is a good change finally, because there have been some games I've died and gave like 1,200 gold to the enemy champion. So yeah, that's a good change, meaning that you won't lose more than 1,000 gold. But if you this like cap walls over the next death you have. So if you like worth 1,500 gold, you'll give 1,000, and the next time you die, you'll give another bonus of 500. So yeah, that's like you need to kill twice. So doesn't really matter, but you get to this 1,000 gold cap so fast if you're really ahead, just because you farm out of minions, and you're probably gonna have more than 6 kills if you're really ahead. So yeah, I'm not sure about these changes. I think they're too radical, but we'll have to see. Minimum kill gold. That's really good against like these inting scions and this cinch that proxies farms. So that's a good change. So the gold for 6, like 0 to 5 deaths doesn't change. 6 deaths 100 gold, 7 deaths 100 gold as well, 8 deaths as well, and 9 deaths as well. So the huge changes are from 8 deaths and 9 deaths. So they shouldn't give more than 50 gold. Yeah, I mean they shouldn't give more the 100 gold, because that would be too much. Like who gets more than 8 deaths unless you're proxying or something. So yeah, that's a good change. Okay, teleport. Riot, please, why are you doing this to me? Stop touching the teleport. So basically what they did, you get a zero point 0.5 seconds less channel duration, but you cannot cancel whenever you TP. So yeah, we're definitely gonna see way less TP plays going around the map, just because it's so risky. If you like you TP and you have really and you're doing nothing, getting no kills or getting no objectives, that puts you so much behind. So that used to be like that, I know, but now it's especially risky. Because if you see like a situation and then suddenly everybody runs away, you gotta commit. You have nothing to do. You're gonna be there, and maybe you won't, probably won't take anything, and then you just gets down in lane. So yeah, I really don't like this change. Um, I don't know if we're gonna see more Ignite top laners now. Definitely not in the LCS though. I think the teleport's gonna stay in the LCS. Maybe stay in solo queue as well. We'll have to test that. But it means that you're gonna have to probably use it to your lane rather than trying to make TP plays early on, at least. Like later in the game, if you're pushing and then the enemy champion cannot interrupt you or cannot damage you, like you're pushing really ahead, the enemy champion is on the turret, you can TP outside his vision range, and yeah, it should be fine. So it's a lot more early game to mid game oriented. Alright, so okay, okay. Alright, that's it. So yeah, overall, I really like these changes. I think season 9 is gonna be great. That's my personal feeling, because season 8 was okay, even good, I will say. Yeah, some people complain that you can't solo win the game anymore. It's not like season 4 where you could stumble the game alone and carry alone. Yeah, they make it more team game, but they make it they reward aggressive plays. So the plates, for example, if you manage to like get Herald, use Demolish, and yeah, just group up with your team and start taking these 5 plating, you're gonna get a lot of gold. So they do grant advantages for enemies that playing around the objectives early on. Definitely reward them. So you might not be able to carry like later on in the game, especially when late game comes faster now, just because you get more gold from killing the enemy champions. But yeah, I think these are good changes. Like this is a good start of changes. We'll have to see how they continue with that. There's definitely gonna be more changes because that's preseason. It's like where they test the stuff. But the general idea is very well executed in my opinion. So we'll have to see how it goes. So as I said, what the meta is right now, if you manage to take down a turret before 40 minutes, great. Group up with your team, alright? Group up with your team. That's so much important because you get this. Sorry about that. You get the canon minions. At 25 minutes, you get it every one wave, and at 50 minutes, you get it every two waves. It's a huge change. Group up with your team, siege the enemy, get a vision priority, and yeah, start poking them out, and you're gonna eventually win because they're gonna have a lot of pressure on the turret. As long as you don't end up dying in the siege, like you're doing your siege. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. It feels like they made it more team game, just because of the drakes as well. Give it more priorities, such as the mountain drake, which is huge change. Mountain drake, definitely look out for that. As I said, and 5 minutes instead of 6 minutes. So yeah, it's definitely rewarded. Good. I really like the changes. We'll have to see how it goes later on in the next patches. I'll maybe do a cover of them as well if you guys would like. So thank you guys all for watching and see you in the next videos. Tell me guys if you have any questions. Feel free to ask me on Discord. I'll be happy to help. I think I'll return to streaming only next week. I don't really want to fully recover, as you can hear from my voice. I'm not fully recovered, so yeah guys, see you around. Thank you for watching again, and goodbye.